So today's webinar is about EIC Accelerator Challenges, where we will have Paolo Bondavalli and also my colleague Nikos. So the agenda is that I will start with a short intro about CEO Xafenias, who is hosting this webinar, and then Paolo will make his presentation about the possibilities this next year, and my colleague Nikolaos Xafenias from Chalmers Industriteknik and EU SME Support will also tell you a little bit about the support that the Swedish companies, small and medium-sized companies, can get. So good to know. The meeting is recorded, and we will share it on LinkedIn, on CEO Xafenias' YouTube channel after the meeting later this week. So I'm going to start with what is CEO Xafenias for a couple of minutes. And my name is Elisabeth Sagström-Bäck, and I am the program director of the program. And it is one of Sweden's 17 strategic innovation programs with the goal of making Sweden one of the leading countries in developing and using 2D materials industrially. And the program has been ongoing for 11 years. We have a last and 12th year that is upcoming. And during these 11 years, about 50 million euros have been invested in projects, and the investment is from the public funding, about 50%, and from companies and other organizations, that's in kind, about 50%. It's innovation projects, and we have included quite a lot of organizations from all over Sweden, with small and medium-sized companies as the backbone of the program, and quite a lot of startups. And that's why this presentation and this topic is so interesting for the stakeholders and the participants of the 2D material ecosystem in Sweden. And if you are interested in knowing more of the program, then you can scan the QR code and go to our website, where you can at least find info about the projects also on English, even if the website is in Swedish, the main part of it. So by that, I will end my introduction and leave as much time as possible to you, Paolo, and you are the program manager for advanced materials for energy.
Exactly.
That is correct. And also a former member of the Graphene Flagship. So
Exactly.
Paolo, the screen is yours.
So I'm sharing the screen. Oop. Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, you are sharing. Yeah.
It's okay.
Now we see your screen in the slide mode. And for those who have entered a bit later, we are recording the webinar.
Perfect.
So Paolo, please.
I start. So actually, I'm Paolo Bondavalli. Thank you for the nice presentation. And I was appointed in the last September 2024 as program manager for advanced material for energy. So to talk about, I will introduce a little bit the EIC in order that everybody can know what is EIC. So you have, as you see, you have a pillar 1 on excellent science, the pillar 2, which is mainly about the project on Horizon Europe about collaboration, so global challenge and European industrial competitiveness. And after that, we have the pillar 3, which is focused on innovative Europe, where you can find the European Innovation Council with the EIT, also the European Innovation Ecosystem, and the European Institute of Innovation and Technology. So, but what is ESC? The main things of ESC is that if you consider the innovation pillar, we have a funding of around 10.1 billion, which is the larger part of this pillar. And you will know, I don't know if you know, but by 2027, the budget has been multiplied by 3.5, considering the success of EIC. But the origin of EC is from the speech of van der Leyen, our president van der Leyen, about the fact that Europe was very good to do research with money, but not to do money using research. So for these things, the EIC has been created in order to help the researcher to change their mindset and to consider innovation as a sort of added value to their research, and also to try to think in a mid-long term which could be the impact of society of their research and the results of their research. But when we talk about EIC, all the time we are talking about deep tech. But what is deep tech? So deep tech is, we have to take into account two main points. We are talking about breakthrough. So we are looking for breakthrough. We are not looking for incremental research. And all the projects need to be with the approach of high gain, high risk. So we are talking about projects that has the, I could say, the ambition to be transformative for our society, from the point of view of scientific and also technological point of view. But now, what is why EIC is unique, I could say. So EIC has been created using the model of DARPA in United States. So we can see you see that we have program managers in case of DARPA, even if our perimeter is a little bit different. But the main objective is to create a community, ecosystem for the different strategic topics identified by EIC, and also to create what we call unicorn. So unicorn, we are talking about a company in a deep tech that are able to, I could say, to create a large amount of new employees on a specific and extremely breakthrough topic. But EIC now is quite trendy if you take into account the Draghi report, which is a sort of Bible at European Commission. So the EIC is mentioned 25 times, and also the program manager are mentioned as very important, I could say, actor in this world of competitiveness and of innovation. But talking about EIC, we have a governance. We have what we call an EIC board, which is a board of, I can show, which is a board, a consultant board that, thanks to participation of different people coming from different backgrounds, also from politics, they can deliver a sort of vision about the new direction that EIC has to take, and also advice about how to tackle the issue for SME that need to enter the market, actually. Concerning the EIC program manager, we are 10 on very different topics. So you can see we are health and biotechnology, artificial intelligence, space system and technologies, quantum tech, architecture, responsible electronics, medical imaging, food chain, renewable energy conversion, and in my case, advanced material for energy. Which is the main role of EIC program manager, is to identify the new challenge. So the challenge that I'm presenting now, actually. So we try to define which are the strategic topic in which we have to define the program. In my case, I define in this case the pathfinder on that I will show you in the next section. But also I contribute to define the new challenge for the accelerator. So in this case, I define 2 new challenges. I'm also in charge of 2 old challenges from the previous work program. So we have the interview in January for the last bunch of projects. The other role that we have is to have what we call the proactive management of a selected portfolio and project. So concerning the Pathfinder project, indeed, when we have, for example, a certain amount of projects that are over the threshold, we can choose 8 or 10 projects. We can choose 8 or 10 projects that will be part of what we call the portfolio approach, where this project, they will work together. We will try to create synergy within them in order to have a whole impact, which is be larger than the impact of each single project. So this is a new approach developed by European Commission, and EIC is the first time that has implemented that. Actually, it started 4 or 5 years ago, actually. After that, when you are an EIC beneficiary, you will be followed all along your the lifetime of your or your path from research to innovation, because we have what we call the EIC BAS, so Business Acceleration Service. For example, if I have project in the Pathfinder, I want to move. Well, they obtain very quite good results, and they are thinking to implement these results in device and also to move to innovation. We can give them, for example, a booster grant that will help them to have a coaching, to have I could say advice from expert to define which could be the real added value of innovation. We could be the real added value also of the research, of the results, and which could be the good use case to implement it. So it's really everything is done to help a researcher to change the researcher mindset, to move from from a research mindset to an innovator mindset. And so as I told you, we will follow you all along the path from research to innovation and also to the accelerator, so to the scale up. But who can apply? For example, we have 3 schemes. We have the Pathfinder, the Transition, and the Accelerator scheme. In case of the Pathfinder, we are talking about consortia, about 3 different independent legal entities established in at least 3 different eligible countries. So you have a grant of 3 million for the open scheme and 4 million for the challenge. From my point of view, an advice that I can give you is to define a consortia of around 4, at maximum 5 partners, because indeed EIC Pathfinder is not like the old FET Open. EIC Pathfinder is considered as only one of the steps of the EIC to move from research to innovation. So EIC Pathfinder has to be conceived as a function also to a possibility to move to a transition scheme. In case of a Pathfinder, we are talking about TRL moving from 1 to 4. So after that, we have, as I told you, the transition. In this case, we are talking about moving from a TRL of 4 to 5, 6. So if in the previous case we had a consortia of about 3, 5 partners, in this case, one advice is to have consortia of about 3, 4. I think 3 could be better partner, because indeed you need at the end of a transition to have a sort of I could say one of the partner need to receive to drive innovation to have accelerator. When in case of accelerator, we are talking about a single partner and only a SME. So indeed, as I told you, we have to consider all this scheme as a function of the overall view. So moving from transition, to moving from Pathfinder transition to accelerator. So is it only one of the steps of the EIC, of the EIC scheme? So indeed, in this case, you can also have a single applicant like SME, spin-off, startups, research organization, university. Also in Pathfinder, you can have SME, can join the call. So it's absolutely not a problem. In this case, for the transition, it could be better for the consortia to have an IP in order to demonstrate that you have a sort of ballistic path to move to an accelerator, so to the scale up of innovation. In this case, we are talking about grants about 2.5 million. And now we move to the accelerator. In the case of accelerator, we are talking about the last step, the last of the 3 steps of the EIC scheme. In this case, we are talking about project where you have only one partner, one SME, and they will move from a TRL of 6 to a TRL of 8. And the investment can go from 0.5 to 10 million in form of direct equity and 2.5 million only in grant. What is very appreciated for the accelerator project is to have projects that have a blended finance. So they are asking for equity, considering that only to have projects that we can define as enter grants are not really in the scope of this kind of call. The question is that when you are able to win an accelerator, for each euro that you are able to win thanks to the accelerator directly, you will receive an amount of at least €6 coming from private investor. Considering that the EIC Accelerator is an extremely prestigious, I could say, award, and if one company is able to win this EIC Accelerator, automatically we will be followed by a lot of private investors. And this is extremely important. Also, we have to take into account that as a winner of an EIC Accelerator, you will be helped by the program manager to for example, to go in different trade affair in order to speak, to develop pitch in front of buyers and so on. So you will be, I could say, assisted by the program manager and also by the EIC and bus service in order to improve your visibility and to reach new customer and to reach to obtain new funding. Actually, I have a discussion all the week with a lot of SME that are looking for different kind of things. Some are looking, for example, for venture capitalists. Other one, they would like only to participate, to have a larger visibility, and so we can help them to do that. This is the submission of the accelerator. You prepare what we call a preliminary submission. You send the preliminary submission. After 1 month, you have the answer. If it's okay, you have to submit the whole proposal. After that, you have the pitch. So the pitch, you have the interview, which will take place in Brussels. And for example, for the next call, you will have 3 batches of interview with different for the different project accelerator. After that, we have the new tool, which is the EIC STEP, where in this case, we are talking about a co-investment from 10 to 30 million to catalyze major funding rounds. If, for example, 2-3 weeks ago, I joined as an observer all the evaluation of the EIC STEP. For example, it was for a nuclear fusion. So we are talking about very large project, and we are talking about 30 million of funding in this case, and we are talking about all the time about equity. And in this case, as I told you, we are talking about really innovation that have been identified as a sort of game-changing innovation in Europe critical technology areas. But now here you have a sort of summary, all the path of our, I could say, researcher innovator actually. So we have at the beginning, we have the program manager that can define the strategic challenge at the level of a pathfinder. So we try to identify topics that are, I could say, that can have a strong impact on European strategy. One, for example, in my case, is about one of the most important topics is the energetic strategic autonomy of Europe in the case of advanced material for energy. After that, we define the pathfinder. So you have the open scheme when you can submit all the topic that you want, but you have a challenge also that are defined by the program manager. After that, you have the EIC transition step where you move in the pathfinder, you move from a TRL 1 to 4, and in the transition, you move from a TRL 4 to 6. After that, the accelerator, where in this case, we are talking about only one single partner, an SME in this case, where they can obtain 2.5 million in grant and 10 million in equity, moving from a TRL 6 to 9. The EIC step, as I was telling you, that where we are game-changing technology for Europe, and as I told you, all along this step, all along this path, you will receive the assistance of the program manager, also the bus service of the EIC. So when you enter in the family of EIC, you will be assisted all along the path to move from researcher to innovation. From my point of view, I was a researcher in my previous life, so I can understand very well the researcher that have in the Pathfinder, but it's not easy to think about roadmap to innovation when you start with a TRL of 1. So we are here to help them to try to change their mindset and also to help them to do the transition. And now I would like to present the challenge that I developed this year. So the first one is about advanced material for miniaturized energy harvesting system, and this is a Pathfinder challenge. So we are talking about TRL moving from 1 to 4, but also in this challenge an SME can apply. It absolutely can apply without any problem actually. So the main scope of a challenge is to support the development of a new generation of energetically autonomous system that enable innovative service to improve the quality of life for European citizens. So we are talking about application areas like health, autonomous sensor for safety, autonomous system, IoT, also a sustainable cities actually. But it's blocked. Okay, here we go. For example, if you take the example of the IoT, we can see that the IoT are everywhere in our society, and in the future, their weight will be also larger. But the question is that you have a lot of application IoT, but for each IoT, you need around 20 sensors. This is the example of a smartphone, which is a typical IoT system where you have around 20 sensors that are integrated in the phone. In the future, if you consider the evolution of the IoT in the future, in 2020, in 2040, we can see that the global electrical consumption will be completely used by IoT, and because we are targeting about 1 trillion of IoT by 2040. So you can see that it is not really sustainable from the point of view of the energy consumption and also from the point of view of the energy production. But we can see that also the market of IoT is booming for a lot of applications, so for hardware, software, service, IoT security, and total. But as I told you, IoT is not one of the examples of the autonomous sensor that we are talking. The question is that we take all the sensors that are related to the IoT and we use I could say we plug them to our grid. Actually, the problem is that we won't have the energy to do that in 2040. It will be completely non-sustainable. The other thing is that if we think to use batteries in order to have independent, energetically autonomous sensor, we need to change in 2040 around 80 million of battery each day. So you can see that it is not really sustainable from the point of view of to have a circular economy. And also, thanks to this autonomous system, we can reduce the cost of maintenance and of keeping the device operational. But so what we are looking for in this call? We are looking of identification, development of innovative advanced material for energy harvesting. So we are talking about you need to be, I could say, creative. You have to find also new phenomena, new physical, chemical phenomena that can be implemented in order to increase the energy harvesting properties of this material. Also, it reducing what we call the critical raw material. Also, the implementation of advanced material in miniaturized energy modules. So we will obtain an advanced material and we'll test it, for example, in a system that you don't need to develop in the project, but you need to use something in order to test the validity of and the, I could say, efficiency of the material that you are developed. The integration of miniaturized energy harvesting module in energetically autonomous system. And so what we want to obtain is the burn marching of the harvesting model in a representative use case. So you have to define a broader, I could say, perimeter application of your innovation and leveraging digital tools. So you can also use AI to accelerate the development of new material and take into account that from the very beginning, you have to have an idea, even if a broad idea of the potential market that you are targeting, but also a broad idea. indeed. So in this case, we are waiting for a vision proposal that put forward under this call will identify a new generation advanced material for miniaturized energy harvesting model and to achieve a TRL 4 for resulting energetical autonomous system. So here we are talking a little bit about the portfolio approach. In this case, all the project will be classified in 3 points as a function of the phenomena that they would like to develop, as a function of the material that they would like to implement, and as a function of the field of application. And so you can check the guideline of a challenge. Considering that we want also to have a sort of benchmarking on the different application, we will choose only 2 projects that are in each category. That 2 projects with the same, I could say, topic for each category. No more than that. Now I would like to present the EIC Accelerator Challenges on advanced material for renewable energy and energy storage system. So at the very beginning, I will talk a little bit about the policy about that are at the base of this challenge. So the first one, the most important one, is the REPowerEU that has been defined after 2022, after the Russian-Ukrainian crisis and war. And the project is the main objective of this policy is to reach 60% of renewable energy sources by 2030. And this is the direct consequence of what we need to develop highly effective energy storage for grid and domestic use. So indeed, if you want to develop 60% of renewable energy sources, indeed, we have also to develop the long-term energy storage system that will be able to implement the renewable energy sources, considering that we are talking about intermittent energy sources. But I would like to highlight that the generation of energy through renewable energy sources and the mid-long energy storage, from my point of view, are 2 aspects of the same solution. And for this reason, this call is about renewable energy sources, but also about mid-long term storage. The question is that when you want to implement clean technology in order to avoid to use a fossil fuel, the question is that you push the utilization of a lot of critical raw materials, so materials that are not completely sources in Europe. For this reason, we want to develop a new generation of advanced material that with added functionalities that will be able to act as alternative material, reducing the content of CRM. I can mention you an example. If you take into account, for example, wind turbine, you can see that around in a wind turbine, you have a magnet, and 96% of these magnets are produced in China. So how you can think to implement REPowerEU, and so to try to reach the energetic strategic autonomy, knowing that if want to implement the clean technology, you depend from China. So for this reason, we created this call in the acceleration in order to develop this new material that will help to reduce the dependency for critical raw material. The objective, as I told you previously, we are targeting scaling up for startup and SME, developing advanced material in the framework of renewable energy sources and mid-long term storage. The scope is the development of advanced material all along the value chain. So I'm talking about designing, modeling, characterization, upscaling, and production. But keep in mind, we have to develop this material, keep into account that we have to reduce the content of critical raw materials. And also we have to benchmark the properties the properties of this material in order to see that their performance at least at the same level of the material that was previously at their place, and that they want to take the place actually. The environmental footprint of a developed advanced material should also be measured with a life cycle analysis that include an evaluation of the cost and social impact. Expected outcomes: to develop along the value chain and support the integration of new advanced material with improved functionalities in renewable energy source and mid-long-term energy storage systems, enable a more diversified digital drive and a risk-aware configuration of European advanced material value chains, accelerate market uptake of innovative advanced material, and last but not least, to address the EU industrial dependency on the import of material for the energy sector. Considering that the energetic strategic autonomy of Europe has also been highlighted by the last speech of the State of the Union of van der Leyen, this is a strategic priority for Europe to strengthen the European value chain of base material for the energy sector. So I won't talk about this one, but I would like to move to the end. So here you have a sort of summary of all the call that we have developed at EIC. I'm in charge of the first one and also of the two of the A1 of A2, P1, A1 and A2. And here you have all the deadline for the different call. I can share the slide. And thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Paolo, for a very interesting talk. So, Nikos, now the floor is yours.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And I'm gonna share my screen now.
And then we have some questions, but we'll come back to these ones afterwards.
And you can see.
No, it's we don't see it in the now. Yeah, no, now it is.
Yeah. So just a moment. So hello, my name is Nikolaos Xafenias, and I'm an EU funding advisor at sitting at Chalmers Industriteknik, and today I'm gonna give a short introduction to EU SME Support. Yes, EU SME Support is a support service. I'm sorry, the slides are in Swedish, but I will be talking in English. I hope that's okay. So EU SME Support is a support service with a goal to increase the number of approved applications and funding obtained from the EIC presented right now. Eurostars, the EU Innovation Fund, and NATO Diana for Swedish companies. We are funded by Vinnova, the Swedish Innovation Agency, and also Tillväxtverket and Energimyndigheten. The support office consists of 6 organizations all over Sweden. So it is RISE that leads the service, Chalmers Industriteknik in Gothenburg, where I'm sitting, the Swedish Environmental Institute IVL, Uminova Innovation in Umeå, LTU Business in Luleå, and Ideon Science Park in Skåne. We have a close collaboration with Enterprise Europe Network, who can provide, amongst others, advisory services for internationalization, matchmaking for business and technology collaborations, as well as innovation coaching. And as a Swedish SME, you are entitled to receive cost-free support in all parts of the application process, but also during your project and after the project end. So we can help you from your decision to apply. We can match you with the right call till after your project has ended. We do not write the proposal for you, but we can support and provide feedback and support you throughout the process, including also training for your pitch to the EIC jury for transition and accelerator, and we can also have personal meetings throughout the application and the project process, and we can also support you with also registering your application to the portals, for example, administration, reporting, etc. So we help you throughout the whole process, and we are a cost-free support service for you. We support the project ideas spanning the whole TRL range in the respective programs. So from TRL 1, which is Pathfinder, to TRL 8 and above. This is an overview of the different programs that we support according to the relevant TRL scale. So we have a lot of very well-known successful cases that we have supported in EU funding, and we have a lot more. Every year we support more than 220 companies from Sweden, and many of them return several times regarding the same programs or different programs before the project start or after. So to summarize, with us, Swedish SMEs can get EU funding and business development expertise, support before, during, and after the project, access to international networks and collaborations so they can secure more and the right type of funding, increase their attractiveness to investors, strengthen international exposure and growth, and reduce resource strain and plan and allocate resources more efficiently. So first time a company reaches us is via our help desk. So you may use this link here to write to us, and we also have a calendar at eusme.se where you can find important deadlines or events that we participate in, and you can also follow us on LinkedIn where we publish all relevant information regarding EU funding. And of course we have the newsletter where you can subscribe using this QR code. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nikos. So if you stop sharing, then
Yes.
we'll go to the question and answer session. And Paolo, we have a question in the chat for you from Asman. It's the question is, does the company have to be registered at the time of application? That's the first question.
Yes, because you need to have a legal, I could say, entity actually. So yes.
Mm-hmm. And the second question is also from Asman, is it required to combine the funding with private investors as well?
No, for the accelerator, no. You can ask for only the grant. The last year, for example, in one of the challenge, one company won and asked only for the grant.
Okay, so other questions from the audience. Please just use the raise your hand, or you can also turn on your camera and mic. While people well, we have one from Roman, so please turn on your camera and your mic, Roman.
Hello, thank you for good presentations, Paolo and Nikolaos. I have two questions, one to Paolo, one to Nikolaos. First for Paolo. Can we apply for transition, ESC transition, if we have the current Horizon Europe project, like to transfer results to commercialization?
Yeah, if you have, this is one of the requirements to have an Horizon Europe. Also, there is a list of projects. So you can also move from ERC, RC POC, you move to transition, and also to move from the Pathfinder, or also to move from a Horizon Europe project, actually. This is the possibility to move to a transition scheme.
Good, thank you. And a short question to Nikolaos. Is it the service only for Swedish companies, or also within the Baltic region?
No, it's only for Swedish companies.
Okay, so thank you.
Oh, yeah, sorry, it's
we are funded
Swedish
by national funding. So yeah.
Yeah. So other questions? Then I'll cut in with one to you, Paolo. I guess the grants from EIC are of course very attractive for the companies. So I guess it's a quite high competition.
Sure.
What would you say is most important for a small and medium-sized company or a startup that's looking? Is it the idea? Is it the consortium? Is it how you write it?
So the first things is to be deep tech. So remember, breakthrough, high gain, high risk. This is fundamental. After that, when you come, for example, when you have to write the project, also to come for the interview, you need really to pay attention on which is your roadmap to the market. So which is your business model, business case, which is the use case that you are targeting, and also if you have already contact with customers and so on. So you have to build your credibility, not only from the point of view of research, but indeed when you are in acceleration, you don't do any researcher. So you have really to create your credibility, that you are able to create a sort, I could say, that you enter the market in a credible way, and that there are customers that are waiting for you. And all the person that, for example, have to go to an interview, they really need to be very well prepared about a lot of questions on business, not only on technical things. So be really prepared, do a lot of I could say the tries, do a lot of tries with a lot of very bad question between you in order to be trained to the when you will be at the interview, if you are able to arrive to the interview. Actually, this is the main things. And also remember, all the things that you do, you have to detail everything, because if you don't detail things, the subject can raise. So some doubt can be raised, actually. You understand, on your proposal. So be really sure of all the things that you are presenting, actually.
So I'll pop one more question to you then. What for the startups? I mean, they can be in a little bit of different sizes depending on what stage on the road towards scale up. So where would you find what kind of sizes of companies are you looking for the challenges? Is it a little bit larger ones, or is it really the startups, the very startups with one or two persons?
It's a definition of SME. I think the limit is 100, something like that. So it's only, you have only to take the I could say legal definition of SME that you can find on the site. And indeed, we don't pay attention to the composition, actually. So if you are 100, 10 or 20 is not important. What is important is the idea and the route to the market, actually. This is important, actually. If you think there is a lot of unicorn, that you have company composed by 10 people. So, so it's not...
Yeah, thank you. Someone put the definition here in the chat also for
and
the
there
companies.
is an SME definition guide. So yeah, to be considered an SME, you also consider any other linked companies that might be linked to the company.
So Paolo, do you? Well, we have a question from Anastasios. Please turn on your camera and your mic.
Whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hi.
Now we see you.
Hi everyone. Thanks. I have a question for Paolo. Actually, it's two-sided. So the one is you showed a table with the different dates related to each of the programs. Can you guide us a bit through that? Because I remember also from previous announcements of EIC in general, these tables are a bit difficult to follow on when exactly is the deadline for which of the programs and challenges now.
So in the only things that has changed, you can see for the Pathfinder transition is quite easy. So we have a deadline, it is finished. But in case of the accelerator, it's quite different from the previous year, because indeed the previous year you have only 2 deadlines. One, it was in March, the other one was in October. And this year you have a 3 different deadline. You have 6 deadlines, and the first 2 are related to the first interview bunch. The second 2 are, you have another interview session, and the third one you have another interview session. So you can submit at the beginning of the year, in the middle of the year, or at the end of the year. So the last one, I think, is October, November, actually. Also after that, also I think November, December.
Okay.
So indeed, as a function of so you have 3 deadlines for that, actually. But remember, preliminary proposal, you wait for 1 month, you have the answer. After that, you have a deadline for the full proposal.
Yeah. Okay. And thank you for that. And the second part is related to the challenges specifically. So the one that you presented, for instance, for the advanced materials for miniaturized harvesting.
Yeah. This is a Pathfinder.
Yeah. So this is this following the same path of presenting something, getting the feedback, and then resubmitting or submitting the full proposal, or is
no. You submit
one cutoff.
Yeah, one cutoff.
Okay. Okay, and if someone wanted or is at the position now that has a technology that is, let's say, somehow protected, a bit mature to move forward in this direction, what would be your suggestion of how to start approaching the EIC acceleration, the EIC challenge for the advanced material?
In this case, the challenge is really focused on advanced material. So we are talking about new breakthrough, I could say, materials, new breakthrough advanced material with really new properties, actually. So in this, we are talking about TRL moving from 1 to 3. Huh? If you have already a technology that works, I think it doesn't comply because we have a too high TRL, actually, in this case. After that, I understand that it's not easy for a company because for a company, if you have a TRL between 4 and 6, you didn't win previously an Horizon Europe project or Pathfinder on RCPOC and so on, you cannot move to a transition, indeed. So we are trying to change that in order that all the project can apply for the transition. So the big problem for company is when you have a TRL of 4 and 6. Because you have a 4x6, you cannot move directly to. You cannot. I could say apply for the transition if you don't answer, you don't comply with some requirement. So coming from Horizon Europe, coming from Pathfinder, or coming from RCPOC. So for this kind of company, I hope that they will be able to achieve a TRL6 and to move to an accelerator.
Okay, so the Advanced Materials Challenge is Pathfinder. So it corresponds to Pathfinder.
You have Advanced Material on the Pathfinder, which is about energy harvesting, and you have the Advanced Material Challenge in Accelerator about renewable energy sources. Always Advanced Material for renewable energy sources and mid-long-term storage. They are all about advanced material, but with two different topics and with two different TRL, actually.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paolo.
If anybody has need more questions, can contact me directly, actually. So there is no problem.
We had also a last question in the chat if the ones registered will receive your slides. And I think you've already promised that you will share the slides. That's very good. So by that, I think we have reached the end of the webinar. Thank you so much, Paolo. Thank you so much, Nikos.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
And thank you all for attending this one. And you will get a mail from us with Paolo's slides and also a link to the recording on YouTube, so you can share it with colleagues or anyone who's interested in the challenges. So
thank you.
Hope a lot of good proposals will come your way next year.
I hope for that, actually.
Yeah. So bye-bye and thank you.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.